What's everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing, build whatever you need, whether it's gaming, streaming, creative music, whatever you need, Dark Fusion Systems will build the PC for you. Don, the metalcore PC company by Ryan Kirby, a fit for a king. Why? Because that's what he uses for streaming. Get $100 off your entire build using the code CPPOD at darkfusionsystems.com. Link for the podcast below. Thank you guys. Now time for feature presentation. Probably the quickest interview I've ever done. We bring Ben and Eddie from the band Kid Kapichi to the podcast all the way from the UK. Their brand new album, There Goes The Neighbourhood, comes out on March 15th, and it is brash, punk, and connective as all hell. Get ready for a great one. It's going to make you want more from this band. Are you guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, we're going to bring you some great punk rock today, but I'm talking about some great brash, in-your-face, pulls no punches, is what it is, punk rock all the way over from the UK. This band right here will be touring the US with Blame My Youth in May of 2024, so go check them out if you can. They will be at Welcome to Rockville, and I believe it's Sonic Temple Festival as well, so if you're going to that, go check them out. Go get some punk right in your face. The brand new album, There Goes The Neighbourhood, comes out on March 15th. So let's talk all about it for a little bit. So please welcome Ben and Eddie from the band Kid Kapichi, the podcast. So gentlemen, welcome.
How's it going, brother?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Man, it is going great. I'm glad to have you guys on here. And I got to say, listening to this album, just the brashness of it being as upfront as possible and just, again, just being as like blatantly specific. That was something I was not expecting, but for this album, specifically what you guys were going for, man, it absolutely hit.
Mate, thank you very much, man. Yeah, I think like, with this record, we definitely, we wanted to explore the extremities of how wide we could take the goalposts and stuff, like the heaviest stuff's probably the heaviest we done. The lighter, catchier side's probably on that side as well, but we definitely left no stone unturned with exploring what our sound can be. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a nice one for us like that, man.
And in terms of topic, we kind of like hitting the nail on the head. There's no point really, brushing around stuff too much. We're kind of like saying it how it is.
Yeah, we've always been literal, and it's like, I think especially when you're singing in British accent, like you can't have any shit lyrics in there. They have to all say something. Every word counts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, true that.
Yeah, but it's that brashness that really drove me to this, because I do enjoy punk rock. Make sure I'm wearing some punk rocks if I got a freaking Rise Against shirt on right now, because it's my favorite band of all time. And they're much more poetic with their style of lyrics. But for you guys going as brash and upfront, I always look at that as a little bit of like this could be interesting just based on the fact that are people going to be able to connect with something that's so overt, brash, and very specific? But it's the way that the sound ended up creating around every single piece of the lyrics, all the songs, that really brought you into it, because you feel like you're listening to stories. You don't feel like you're trying to connect emotionally with it. You're trying to understand where you guys are coming from and how you're feeling on this album in a world post-Brexit.
Yeah, I think we're trying to paint a story of how it feels over here and how people that maybe don't get a chance to have a voice are feeling as well. You know what I mean? It's
I think frustrations are at an all-time high. I think particularly more and more as time goes on, even people feel like the voice that they do have doesn't actually make a difference. And I think like frustration and anger are all reflected in music in the UK right now, across all art forms, across all genres. Like you see that mood existing more and more prominently across art forms, man, because it's just like, it is the mood over here right now.
Everyone's fed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that mood start to come through across with some of the other UK bands that I brought on from more the post-hardcore side with Caskets and Holy Absence, trying to bring on While She Sleeps as well to get some more of the metalcore side, but also listening to bands like Architects, Bring Me the Horizon, especially more in my line of this where I'm really listening on a daily basis. So I'm getting some of that anger to come through as well, but it's always different hearing it from a US perspective, just based on the fact that we don't understand all the intricacies of what's going on over there because we're so involved with what's going on over here, as is just based on the facts of where we live. But a lot of the similarities of overall topic and what we can connect with and what's going on in the world are happening on both sides, but we're just not talking about it with each other and realizing that we're both in the same shit together.
Yeah, man, that's it. I think like like one thing that exists globally at the moment is like a lack of accountability to people in positions of power. Like, you know, you can print some scandal or some horrific, you know, act on the front page of the fucking newspaper, and no one that gets anything done about it. You know what I mean? No one's ever held to account. And I think that feeds into people's frustration. They think like you're getting taken the piss out of on a daily basis and nothing gets done about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's been going on for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's been going on for a lot longer than 15 years.
Yeah,
it's been going on for my whole
course.
entire life. I mean, I'm going to be 30 at the end of the year, and it feels like my whole entire life has just been, every time something comes up, seems like it's good, there's always some sort of backstory behind there that's going to turn to shit. Whether it's, you know, like in 2008, 2009, the banking crisis, the recession, then the pandemic. Now what we're dealing with, inflation, with joblessness, with people not being able to find jobs, rents going through the roof. People are struggling just to get by and survive. And a lot of the songs that you guys brought up here, it's like, you know, there's times where people just kind of want to let loose and forget about those bad times and just enjoy. But you guys never pulled any punches when it came to just going right at it, focusing on certain things with government, certain things with the country as a whole, and specifically in the song 999, literally going after a whole entire story from Metropolitan Police Constable doing some absolutely heinous shit and not letting it slide.
Yeah, man. And that's it. I think like that's like what you're saying. It's like certain songs look at the macro and other ones look at the micro. You know what I mean? There's certain songs that talk about like an individual's experience and an individual's frustration, and other songs that touch on at large a feeling of like, you know, the like we've said before, like the mood of a country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and it's no doubt that, you know, your feelings about the way that the police are over there are probably similar, if not worse, than the way ours is. Do you know what I mean? So maybe those songs do relate to you guys a bit more.
There's things that resonate across
it's
the board,
institutionally fucked.
Yeah, it's interesting. We came out to the States for the first time with Nothing But Thieves at the end of last year. And like, you know, because our label's like partly American, partly UK. And, you know, they said to us before, like, you know, there's certain types of like British band that just really don't resonate. And like, you just can never tell what it is. And like, we came over and it was like, everyone just got it.
We loved it.
You know, and everyone loved it. And we were just gassed.
The reception was mad because you never know when you're opening what it's going to be like. And we were walking out to packed rooms and like screaming fans, and that like made it all worthwhile because it was a long old trip. We was out there 6 weeks in one of those bandwagons, and it was
and every night on the road,
it was
not
pretty
a
heavy.
wink of sleep, like mad.
Can't wait to come back though, man. We're so excited to be back over your way, man.
Oh, I know you guys are excited to be back over. When I saw, I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are playing with Blame My Youth. I think they're coming by me. Oh my God. Literally looked at the schedule and I'm like, well, Blame My Youth is coming by me, but why the hell is Kid Kapichi not on that list? It's because the day you guys, that band has come by me, you guys are playing your set at Welcome to Rockville. I'm just like,
oh man,
damn it!
Come to the festival instead, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Problem is I'm all the way in the northern part of the United States. That festival is in the southeastern part of the United States, so it's not easy to get to. Even though I was at that festival 2 years ago and almost passed out from heat stroke one day.
Oh, it's gonna be a hot one.
I know, that's it. It gets hot around that time of year, isn't it, man? It's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be hot when you guys play Welcome to Rockville. So make sure you got lots of water, lots of ice, and a place to stay cool because it's needed.
We'll be scantily clad.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you guys want to go all Red Hot Chili Peppers and just go out with socks on your dicks, you know, you're probably going to get away with it because you're playing in Florida.
We're still working on those summer buds after the last American tour, man. So we'll see if we get on.
Hey, so scantily clad's going to work. But when it comes to your sound as well, and just so you said, you know, you guys opened up for another tour with Nothing But Thieves later last year, and a lot of people connected with you. I think it's based on the fact that you guys were so brash, so upfront, didn't pull any punches, not only the macro, but the micro, but the songs you're talking about that are more of a microcosm or more specific to not only the UK as a whole, but maybe just a certain section of it. There's a lot of stories that we're listening like, holy shit, you guys are going through very similar things that we are. We didn't even realize it. So that's where we're getting into it because we can connect with it and understand through your musicality that your feelings of it are very similar to what we're dealing with right over here.
And I think like as well, like one of our things is that like live music has always been so important to us, like growing up in Hastings where we're from, you know, live music is at the heart of our community. And it's like to see our music is only fully articulated live. Like we put a lot of time in the records and we love them, you know, but the live setting, that's where you see our
everyone
band,
always says, oh, it makes sense. So once they see us, they're like, fuck, I get it.
Yeah,
like,
that's it. Like, so yeah, anyone listening, like, please
come check
come
us
through
out
when we're over, man.
I would have to definitely suggest that people go check you out too, because I got to understand and really get a feeling for what you guys were going for through the music itself. However, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that I'm not able to see the live show and really get the full feel of it, where a lot of people in the crowd, a lot of people that don't know you are going to have the best chance to really understand what's going on because of the live presentation, because of this, the brashness and the overtness that you guys use in the lyrics, you guys use in the overall musical, composition of these songs, and how it connects with people while still keeping this upfront British punk feel to the whole entire thing. That's what really surprised me.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you very much. Like, it's exciting to get the word out about it, because like we said, like, you never really know when you're entering a new territory, a new part of the world. You're kind of like unaware of whether it's going to connect, whether it's going to resonate. So it's really exciting that we can make a record like this, which we're so proud of. We pushed ourselves as much as we could. And that's the thing that's like getting us the furthest to new people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's going to be fun, like being able to play this record over in the States as well. Because when we was out there with the Thieves, the record wasn't out, so we could only play like one tune. And we was all dying to play the new songs. So we're like, this time we're coming out with all the new bands.
And doing headline shit as well, man. Like last year was a lot of support stuff,
we did a lot.
which we love, and it's part of the process. But this year's all about headline, and it's all about the bedlam of our own shows, which are just like
chaotic as fuck,
man.
Oh, that's why I'm just even more disappointed that I'm not able to see this live, because I want to see that bedlam and that chaos and see what you guys are able to do with these songs live. Because when I was listening through it, the one that stood out to me the most specifically was Tamagotchi, mostly because the way you guys are able to construct the instrumentation around it, it felt like it was straight up like Brit punk mixed with 90s hip hop. But there was no like hip hop put in there. It was just the instrumentals and the way you guys were able to flow with it. So immediately in your mind, you're connecting back to that time, and the lyrics, you're pulling all these different nostalgia pieces for all of us that are going to be turning 30 within the next couple of years.
Myself at the end of this year.
That's
right down the barrel, man.
Yeah.
But man, did it hit. Like, I'm like, this is oddly like specific even for me, but overall just the instrumentation, the way it worked. Anyone that remembers any part of the 90s, grew up there, or had a bigger part in it as they were older, is going to be able to connect with it based on the instrumentation, regardless how specific it is.
It definitely aged us. It's like we were like, right, there's no now everyone knows exactly.
Yeah, they know where we're at.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's interesting because we never really set out to like pluck from other genres, but I think when you listen to the record, it's not just like 10 obviously sounding punk tunes. I think the message and the lyrics always remain punk, but we try and keep the sound diverse, just because it's just naturally what fits with the song. You know what I mean?
And we're kind of like, we do have eclectic tastes as people, and we have a wide kind range of like producers mindset as well. Like, we play a big part in the making of the records. Like, we co-produced it with Dom Craig and Jonathan Gilmore. But like, we do think about that stuff. Like you're talking about Tamagotchi, like for sure, like those conversations happen where the style of the music reflects the lyrics, and it's all part of one tapestry. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just really cool to be able to have a body of work out where you have thought about all of those things, and it's kind of come out how you thought it would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess record one is more of the, like, if you want the thrashy, real heavy punk side of us, that's where it's at. It develops into album 2, and then I think we've really like nailed it with
capitalized on that album.
Third time lucky.
Yeah, that's it. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'll say third time's a charm, because even as you go through it, you get songs like Tamagotchi and 999 that have a little bit more of this faster, a little bit more of this aggressive flair to it. Then you get to songs like Zombie Nation that have a little more of this like consistent sound to it. But then again, it makes sense with the overall theme. Get to Angelina, and it has this just airy kind of upbeat, just happy quality, though the vocals and the lyrics are completely against that. It's just kind of this great juxtaposition. But then you get to the last song, Jimmy, and it was the perfect ballad to end this album on. It made no sense to put in there, especially on paper. But after listening to it, it's like, it's the greatest close this album could have possibly had.
Mate, it's an homage to a friend of ours who passed away, and it's like, we felt like it was a fitting tribute.
Nice way to eternalize it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, it was a big part of our lives, and just felt right to put it on the record. So
yeah,
glad it makes sense to someone who wouldn't necessarily know that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because honestly, just listening through, I'm looking at what I wrote for him. Like, it felt like a song to be used in a Martin Scorsese movie to remind us of the characters that we lost throughout the movie, or lost through our lives, that we're reflecting back on how big of an impact they really had on us.
Well, that's high praise, man.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're going to use that as a quote, if you don't mind. That's
really
sweet of you, man.
Write it down. If you guys need me to write it down and send it to you, I will absolutely do that, because that song makes a lot of sense for me, even though I had no idea who the guy was.
Yeah, massive Scorsese fans over here, so that's cool.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, next thing you know, that song's gonna be at the end of his next movie, which is, what is it gonna be? Oppenheimer Part 2?
5 hours long.
Yeah.
It'll be at the end
Killing
of
of
the
the
credits.
Flower Moon,
Yeah,
extended
that's it.
director's cut.
They'll have two choices. One, they can go with that song, or they might end up having some fun with it, like what they did with Oppenheimer on the internet, and then replace the ending song with "What I've Done" by Linkin Park.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know I don't have much more time with you guys, so I do want to thank you guys for stopping by and having
Thanks
one
for
hell of
having
a
us,
quick
man.
15 minutes. But I want you guys to give you a chance to plug whatever you want to plug at the end of this episode. Promote what you want to promote, because I want to make sure you guys get the best chance for this album to hit. So take it away.
It's just more of plugging the album. Like, please listen to it. Please come and see us
March
live.
the
while you can.
15th is when it drops. Download it if you can afford to. If you can't, find some way of pirating it. We want you to hear it. We're coming back East Coast only this time. Do you know what date we roll out?
I think we roll out on May the 2nd.
May the 2nd, and we're out there for a whole year, like 25 days. So if you can, come see us. We'd love that. And
yeah, we'd love to meet you. And
come hang out. Especially like in America, like, because it's one of our first tours over there. We will be out and about, hanging out with everyone, partying, selling merch, getting involved, which we don't really get to do that much over here now. So if you want to come have a few drinks, then this is your chance.
Exactly.
All right, now you guys are making this even harder for me to end this podcast. 3 things. First things first, There Goes Neighborhood comes out on March 15th. You can go to the script from the podcast for everything Kid Kapichi when it comes to their socials, where you can watch music videos, where you can get tickets for their US run in May, for any other shows they've got going on, where you can get this album, pre-save it, download it, buy it, whatever you need. It's going to be all down there for you. I'm taking care of all of it. Now I have to find a way to go and get out to you guys, to find a show for you guys, because this is where number 2 comes in. I want to make a promise to you guys that when I get to see you perform live the first time, as a thank you for being on the podcast, I will come and look for you. I will find you.
Yeah.
I will pursue you like Liam Neeson had Taken. I will say hi, and first round's on me.
Hey,
mate,
that sounds
much
wicked, man.
appreciated, man.
Let's fucking do it. Find a date on the tour that you can come out to, and let's party, man.
I got to figure something out, guys, but it's going to be worth it. So as we bring it to a conclusion, I cannot end this podcast by saying goodbye, because that is way too final. I hate doing that. So I'm going to end it by saying this, because I would love to have you back on in the future, and I got to make good on that promise. So gentlemen, I'll see you later.
See you later, my brother.
Until next time, man.
Thank you, man.
Big love.
Woo! Well, folks, this is my interview with Ben and Eddie for the band Kid Kapichi, and now it's time for Kevin's final thought. In the quickest interview I think I've ever done, this was incredibly fun. I mean, getting connected with the guys and just seeing how through this album, their brashness was so upfront in the lyrics and so forceful that I was thinking this could go a little bit awry, just based on the fact that when we listen to a lot of music, if you go too abstract with your lyrics, you tend to lose people. If you go too specific to your lyrics, you tend to not connect with people unless they went through that specific situation. But the way that Kid Kapichi did it on this album, they brought this brashness to the lyrics that made you listen as you were listening to stories, individual story accounts. But it is the overall backing, how they're able to flow with all these different styles for more of this Brit punk meets whatever, to maintain with that overall story and really connect it. Again, Tamagotchi is perfect. Talking about, turning 30 and just people getting all bent out of shape on that. But think about all the great things that we remember and how it goes in specifically to all those 90s references, which is like, oh, if you weren't a kid, you might not really have remembered that. But the backing is Brit punk mixed with 90s hip hop. It fits so well, and you can't get enough of it. 999 is so forceful with grungy punk to really show forward more of the sliminess that is, some of these police officers that we've seen out there, like the specific story around Sarah Everard. I hope I said that right. If you want to go look it up, because it is pretty gruesome. Or Jimmy, the final track, which is a ballad, but it works so well as a remembrance to a friend that we've lost and has meant so much to us. Incredible time, incredibly done. And I thought this was a great album just based off of that fact. Want to go check it out? There Goes Neighborhood drops on March 15th. Go to script from the podcast where it says find Kid Kapichi online. Follow along with them on all their social medias. Know when they're going to be coming to play in the US in May. Go see them play live and pre-order, pre-save, download, buy, whatever it is. There Goes Neighborhood, March 15th. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Chord Progression Podcast. We are here on YouTube. Subscribe right down here. You can also follow us along on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So hit that follow or subscribe button. Make sure to like these episodes. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Link strips to the podcast below. Thank you, gentlemen. And now that's what you guys think for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I every single one of these episodes. Big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yep.